On today's Locked On Thunder podcast, let's dive into the Oklahoma City Thunder Summer League action as Chet Holmgren dominates his Summer League debut. Jaylen Williams was stellar as well, and Josh Giddey just continues to impress. How much longer will these guys play together in Summer League after looking like that in Utah? Plus, how much can you take away from Chet Holmgren's debut? We'll talk about all that and so much more on today's Locked On Thunder podcast on the Locked On Podcast Network, your teams every day.
You are Locked On Thunder, your daily Oklahoma City Thunder podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Let's get it going on the Locked On Thunder podcast on the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your teams every day. I am your host, media member, and editor-in-chief over at thundersintentions.com. Rylan Styles. You can follow me on Twitter at Rylan_Styles. Follow the show on Twitter at LOThunderPod. Email the show, LOThunderPod@gmail.com. On today's show, we're going to recap the dominating performance by Chet Holmgren and talk about the Thunder Summer League Game 1 in Utah. This show is brought to you by Arcade One Up. Arcade One Up is giving away 3 free NBA JAM Shaq Edition machines to our Locked On Thunder listeners. They also have retro games like Pac-Man, Golden Tee, and so much more. Enter a chance to win by going to arcadeoneup.com/lockedon. That's arcadeoneup.com/lockedon for your chance to win. Now, today's show is a fun one. And this is going to be one of the more fun shows in a very long time. I took over this podcast right before the bubble, in May, before the bubble began that season. And since then, of course, we've seen a playoff run. We've seen 2 rebuilding seasons, and it's all kind of culminated into this summer league between the Jazz and the Thunder in Game 1 as Chet Holmgren makes his debut. So we're going to recap this game. Of course, Game 1 of the Summer League circuit versus the Jazz. Trey Mann early out on this one because he was in health and safety protocols. But the Thunder start out with Josh Giddey, Aaron Wiggins, Poki, Jeremiah Robinson-Earl, and Chet Holmgren. And if that is not a sign for you to just simply ignore the position column on your roster and in your program, I don't know what is. I don't care how you classify any of those 3 guys, Poku, Robinson-Earl, Holmgren. Like, this is a new era of basketball, especially in OKC. They are going to be totally positionless. The Jazz, they start Jared Butler, James Palmer, Vic Law, Xavier Steen, Kofi Coburn. Let's start with Chet Holmgren, of course, because he dominates in this game. You know that on Locked On Thunder, one of the themes is, before the draft or before the regular season or before whatever big event's coming up, the best, the worst, and most likely case scenario, breaking all of that down. This game for Chet Holmgren in his debut was by far the best, and I have to even admit, if we were to do that exercise yesterday, if we were to do that for Summer League, I would not have foreseen the 23-point performance on 9 shots yesterday. He shot 77% from the floor, 4 of 6 from 3, 5 for 5 at the free throw line, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal. Chet Holmgren had 6 blocks, a Utah Summer League record. And when he found out about that after the game on the sideline interview with Holly Rowe, he wraps his arm around Josh Giddey, makes Josh Giddey come over to the interview, and he says he's going to break that record again. He acted as though 6 blocks was a walk in the park or was not notable. 2 turnovers, 3 fouls, and a plus 26 for the game. The thing about yesterday, Chet Holmgren looked so comfortable. There was no awkwardness to his game. There was no clunkiness. There was no fish out of water. There was no baby giraffe about his game. This is a tough kid that seeked out contact on both ends of the floor. Of course, he had the highlights, the spin around, one-legged Dirk shot fadeaway. But this guy is dripping with swagger and confidence. And we saw some of that offensive expansion that I was mentioning before. And that just is simply due to spacing and running an offense, himself. And the NBA game is conducive to offensive expansion for almost every college prospect that enters the league. But We saw pull up off the dribble threes. We saw a trailing three, which this team wants to play fast. This team wants to push the tempo. And those trailing threes where you get a rebound, you push ahead to Josh Giddey dribbles in to the free throw line, stops, pitches the ball backwards to a trailing to a trailing Chet Holmgren who steps into the three and knocks it down. That's what you're hoping to see a lot of throughout these next 8-9 years of Thunder basketball. That's what you're banking on seeing, and that's part of the benefit of playing fast, especially whenever you have a guy like Chet Holmgren who can knock those shots down. But he was also great passing the ball. There was the one pass to Jaylen Williams out of Santa Clara for an and one, bucket at the rim for Jaylen Williams. He is doing things, right? When he brought the ball up the floor, when he was passing, when he was shooting threes, when he was doing things that you don't typically expect from a 7-footer, it looked normal. It looked natural. And if you want a side-by-side of what I mean by that, right? And I'm not trying to take a shot at Pokuševski, but if you want a side-by-side of what I mean by that, to kind of make a more clear picture in your head right now while you're listening to me, think about Pokuševski. Think about how whenever he brings the ball up the floor, whenever he shoots a three, whenever he steps into a three off the dribble, whenever he takes a step back or a one-legger or tries to get to the rim or tries to make a fancy pass, think about how unnatural or gimmicky or funny or memeable that looks. It's awkward. It's strange. It catches your eye. For Chet Holmgren, it's status quo. It's expected. It looks silky smooth. So you have a guy who not only looks natural in doing these things, but is loving the contact, is loving, the challenges of playing in these games. He doesn't shy away from contact on either end of the floor. He doesn't back down from competition. These are all reasons why you shouldn't have Poku PTSD. And folks, you have to know there's a lot of people out there who want to see Chet Holmgren fail, who want to have confirmation bias, who want to say, oh, look, I was right. He's too small to play in the league. Oh, look, I was right. That frame won't hold up. Oh, look, I was right. And here's the reasons why. Going up against Kofi Cockburn, there was only one example of this on Twitter, with Kofi Cockburn just putting a shoulder into Chet Holmgren, and it did knock Chet Holmgren back off of his spot. But then Chet Holmgren recovered, put his arms up, recovered, walled up at the rim, and made the shot difficult for Kofi, but Kofi still scored. That was the only clip circulating around NBA Twitter that was in any way, quote-unquote, negative for Chet Holmgren, and he still got back into position. Of course, those people don't show the multiple block shots on Kofi or the fact that Chet Holmgren dominated this game. But whenever you have an entire group of people out there out to, quote unquote, out to get Chet Holmgren, so to say, out to confirm their biases about Chet Holmgren's defense and body, and that's the only clip that they can have, and it's a faulty one at that. It's one that doesn't hold up at that. That's how great this game was. I mean, Chet Holmgren blocked Taco Fall. He blocked Taco Fall, who was listed at 7'6". He forced the jump ball with Taco Fall. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And I just, can't get over just the pure confidence and the way that he treats himself like a guard. He doesn't treat himself like he's an experiment, like he is, something that's just going to try out to see if he can play this hybrid perimeter kind of style of offense. He knows he can. He just goes and does it. And there were concerns about his three-point shooting in the half-court set as recently as a month ago, right? But it's clear after watching him play in this game. You saw how smooth his jump shot looks. You saw how good he was at the free throw line and comfortable he was shooting at the free throw line. And you saw how if he had any space at all, he was very comfortable pulling that jump shot. In fact, he took disrespect to having room to shoot. Chet Holmgren did everything you can ever imagine in this game. Chet Holmgren did what you want your top 5 pick to do. Summer League is not designed for these guys to play all 5, 6, 7 games. It's for the top end guys. For the top end guys, it's designed. Get in, get your work done, prove that you are better than everybody on the floor, and then you get out. Chet Holmgren was awesome. And look, what will happen tonight against Memphis? Who knows? But you saw why the Thunder drafted him right there. And you saw how the Thunder want to play right there. This was not just a throwaway Summer League exhibition. It's like that for most teams. But for the Thunder, this is why you should be paying attention, because they're playing the exact same way they want to play in October. We'll talk about that coming up. But first, I want to tell you right now, my good friends over at Arcade 1UP. Arcade 1UP is back with a Boom Shakalaka NBA Jam Shaq Edition machine. Arcade 1UP is the leader in home retro arcade games, is not only bringing you best game ever back with the NBA Jam collection, but they've brought it back with a bigger edition than ever before with the Shaq Edition machine. People are obsessed with the NBA Jam game, and I am thrilled to tell our listeners you can once again play hoops with NBA legends in this arcade classic. Jump clear across the court, set the ball on fire in one of the first sport games to ever feature real digitized NBA licensing. No fouls, no free throws, no quarters required. Compete with friends and family throughout the all-new Wi-Fi leaderboards, making you more connected than ever before. So pre-order right now at arcade1up.com. That's arcade1up.com for the estimated early September ship date. That's Arcade 1UP is the place for fun. Make sure you check them out today. That's Arcade 1UP. They have Golden Tee, Mortal Kombat, and many others starting at just $3.99. So check it out today. It's the NBA Jam Shaq Edition machine. They're going to give one away to our Locked On Thunder listeners. So enter for a chance to win the game console for your man cave at arcade1up.com/lockedon. That's arcade, the number one, up.com/lockedon. You've got until July 8th to enter to win the NBA Jam Shaq Edition console. Do not miss out. Enter today. Who are you going to play with the NBA Jam machine? We are back on the Locked On Thunder podcast, on the Locked On Podcast Network, your teams every day. Let's talk Josh Giddey. He will not be in Summer League for very long. He showed he's the best player on the floor and the best player in the game. And he did show some progression from last year. I think that aggressiveness in attacking the rim was better than what we saw last year. And he just got downhill and attacked. There was just something different about the way he drove to the basket in this game. He attacked the rim. It either resulted in tough finishes at the rim or getting to the free throw line. And he finished with 14 points, 11 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, 5 rebounds, 3 for 4 from the line. Another thing that we all knew about Josh Giddey was that those assist numbers are going to climb as you get more talent around him and you fill the team that's just superior, that's just more talented and has more shooters and has more weapons. And you see Josh Giddey rack up 11 assists with ease. I think he did that in 3 quarters in this game. So it's just fun to see Josh Giddey play. And again, the point of Summer League, and you're going to have to endure the jokes whenever it happens, but the point of Summer League is to get these guys out there, prove that they are much better than anyone on the floor that they're competing with, and then shut them down for the rest of the Summer League. And so when that happens, you're going to have to deal with people saying, oh, the Thunder are tanking Summer League too, but that's just status quo with the rest of the NBA, and it has been for years since Summer League originated. But got to give a huge hat tip to Jaylen Williams from Santa Clara. Look, if he was the only rookie on the floor, we would be falling all over ourselves to crown him as the guy. He scored 17 points on 72% shooting from the floor. He was 1 of 1 from 3, and he had 5 rebounds, only 3 turnovers, 2 fouls. He was a plus 17 in this one. The big thing is, though, Jaylen Williams from Santa Clara dominated in the paint, dominated at the rim, was incredible finishing through contact, incredible finishing at the rim. And that's big because you look at the recent vintages of this team. How many times have we seen a prospect for the Thunder? And you get through their first season in the NBA and you say, they've really got to improve at rim finishing. Lou Dort, Theo Maldon. The list goes on of guys who struggle at the rim their rookie season. With Jaylen Williams, it seems as though he's going to walk into the league with that trait. And that, again, just allows for more fun, fast breaks And his cutting ability was excellent. Like he just knew when it was time to attack the defense and get behind them. Jaylen Williams just did everything at a perfect level in this game. And again, if he was not being overshadowed by Chet Holmgren, who's your shiny cornerstone number 2 overall pick, we would be crowning Jaylen Williams. Instead, it's kind of just oh yeah, Jalen played well. No, he didn't play well. He played excellent. He played a perfect game in this one. Jaylen Williams was really, really good. Also, Ousmane Dieng of the rookie class, rounding out the 3 lottery picks, who all 3 officially signed yesterday, by the way, to a contract. I was impressed with him. As somebody who's questioned the pick a bit and has questioned kind of the draft capital it took to go get him and kind of what he is, I was impressed. Look, the stat line looks rough, the stat line looks nasty, but it's about the process. The shots just didn't fall. If you watched the game and you watched how he got to that stat line, how he missed those shots, he was natural, he was smooth, the jump shot looked physically good, he took conservative, good approaching shots, right? Like he didn't force anything, he shot when he was open, he let it fly. He had some nice finishes at the rim, splitting between 2 defenders, for the lay, the finger roll in the front of the rim. He was really good. It's just that the shot didn't fall. If a couple of those shots go down in a make or miss league, and in a league where we know, that you might have it one night and you don't have it the next night, he goes from 10 points to 15, and all of a sudden, we're praising him as well. He looked really good. His basketball awareness and basketball savviness really put some of the questions to ease for me. And again, it just comes down to, will those shots fall for him? And you have to believe that eventually that they will. And if those shots fall for him, then this 10.4 rebound, 1 assist, 1 steal night looks really, really good. And he, of course, added that point total. So I was impressed with Dieng. I know that it's easy to, in this game where Giddey plays great, Chet plays great, Jaylen Williams plays great, it's easy to look for the guys who didn't play great and want to kind of throw a wet blanket on that. But don't do that via the box score. Do that via the eye test. And the eye test showed yesterday that Ousmane Dieng is really, really good. Ousmane Dieng is really going to progress in the NBA. Now, I still think it'll be a process. I still think he's going to be a project where the best version of him won't come for 2 or 3 years. But it was encouraging to see him not look lost or not look overwhelmed or not look overpowered in this one. And the jump shot did look clean. And eventually, the ball will fall differently off the rim. And then it looks much better, right? Rounding out the entire rookie class is Jaylen Williams, who is not signed, but there's different rules for second-round picks. They can play without a contract. Jaylen Williams from Arkansas, 2 points, 3 fouls, 3 turnovers. I believe he did draw a charge of this one, though, which, of course, that's very on brand for him. 3 assists, 6 rebounds. He's a very high-energy guy, high-motor guy. I'm interested to see where his career takes him, what the trajectory ends up being for Jaylen Williams out of Arkansas. But I wouldn't say it was a bad game. It just certainly is not going to get you much attention or praise coming off of the game that we saw from Chet Holmgren and from Jaylen Williams Santa Clara. But with Jaylen Williams from Arkansas, he kind of just did what you expected. It wasn't fantastic offensively. Tried to be in the right spots and tried his best defensively. And then, from the motor standpoint, did a great job getting the rebounds, did a great job getting in front of guys and taking charges. I believe, again, he did take 1 charge in this one. So it was just kind of a status quo game for Jaylen Williams out of Arkansas. But coming up, let's talk Pokusevski. How did he look in his first summer league action? Aaron Wiggins was also great in this one. And then how did the Thunder pull off this win? Plus, a glimpse inside how the Thunder want to play come October. All of that and more coming up on today's Locked On Thunder podcast on the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your teams every day. But first, I want to say right now, our good friends over at BetOnline, folks. BetOnline is your number 1 source for all your sports betting needs and sports info from Major League Baseball, NHL, NFL, MLB, NBA, anything you can ask for. MMA, boxing, UFC, golf, anything you can ask for. You're going to want to go to BetOnline. It's this easy. Go to betonline.net, go to their sports book, and folks, we just witnessed Chet Holmgren dominate. I mean, we just witnessed him absolutely dominate a game, and the Thunder are still 1-point underdogs today against the Grizzlies. So maybe you want to check in on that one. Maybe you want to bet on that. But if you don't want to bet on Summer League basketball, I can't blame you. Well, guess what just happened? Chet Holmgren is now the favorite for Rookie of the Year at plus 300 after starting out behind Paolo Banchero, behind Jabari Smith Jr., behind Jaden Ivey. Like now he's number one after that Summer League performance. So go throw a few shekels on Chet Holmgren plus 300 to win Rookie of the Year to good friends over at betonline.net. We are back on the Locked On Thunder podcast, on the Locked On Podcast Network, your teams every day. I am your host, Rylan Stiles. You can follow me on Twitter at Rylan_Stiles. Follow the show on Twitter at LOThunderPod. Email the show, LOThunderPod@gmail.com. Let's talk about Pokusevski, his first ever Summer League performance. Because remember, his rookie season Summer League got canceled, obviously, because they didn't have the draft in November, and the season started in December. And then didn't play last year because they were more focused on, personal training for Poku. And this year, they're letting him play because there's a longer off season to do both things for Poku. Look, to not mince words, he was the worst Thunder player on the floor last night. He was the worst. He made some really nice passes, but the jump shot still looks bad. It might even look worse physically as it does mechanically than it did before. Just a push backpack jump shot. But he was still a willing shooter. 11 points, three steals, 2 assists, 4 rebounds. While he looked bad and while he looked like the worst player on the floor for the Thunder last night, he did make those really good passes, so his playmaking was still there. And another area that he really improved upon was a product of Chet Holmgren. Chet Holmgren allowed him to put further on display his defensive traits because Pokusevski is always a much better help defender than on-ball defender or ISO defender. Like, he's always thrived on help defense, and Chet Holmgren lets him play that role a lot more. And so those two guys were fun to watch defensively. It's one game, but at the end of the day, this is a really critical year for Pokusevski. I think he's a lock to be on the team this year. I think that he is in no jeopardy of losing a spot this year. However, you go through this entire season and he needs a G League stint again, and he doesn't look like he's progressed at all, and he still looks the way he looked last night. Then next offseason, I don't think it'll be around next offseason if he does that. Now, he still has time to progress, though. He's got all of Summer League. He's got all of training camp. He's got all of next season, but it's not sounding good. And it's not starting out good for Pokusevski in this one. But again, still plenty of time. So we'll see how that goes. Now, let's talk about Aaron Wiggins. Aaron Wiggins was incredible in this game. He just played great defense. And he's not a rookie anymore, but, you saw that last year. He played such elite level defense for a rookie, and he looked that same way again. Wiggins was really, really good in this contest and only played a few minutes. But, Summer League is not the fancy setting for Wiggins to display his skill set because his skill set's really just 3 and D. But he still looked the part defensively, battling through screens, closing out jumpers. It was just really nice to see him play. So how'd the Thunder win this game? Frankly, the Jazz Summer League team is just not good. It's just not good. It's Jared Butler and a bunch of guys. The Thunder once led by 29 points. There were only 3 lead changes, only 2 times this game was tied. The Thunder had 54 points in the paint to Utah's 22, which, again, credit to Chet Holmgren and company. Utah had 1 more second chance point than OKC, but the Thunder dominate the fast break category, 15-3, and this is what they're designed to do. The Thunder are designed to push the pace. They're designed to get out and run. They're designed to grab and go. And that fast break category will be big all year long, as it was last year. The Thunder win that category 15-3. The big thing here is I think that you saw how the Thunder want to play in the NBA. Again, for most teams, Summer League is just going to be a throwaway game, a throwaway slot, a throwaway exhibition matchup. But for the Thunder, they're instilling the same habits and the same kind of schemes and the same kind of attention to detail that they want to have come October. They dominate the fast break. They used their length to dominate defensively. Their length helped them so much, not only in the passing lanes, but also in rotation. There was a moment in time where the Jazz pump fake got Chet Holmgren in the air to fly by the shooter. The shooter thought he had time to shoot the ball, went up for the shot, and then here's Pokusevski right there leaping at you again with a hand in the face. Like, what are you going to do? You got the flyby, you got what you're supposed to get, and this link just allows the Thunder to recover and rotate so much quicker than normal teams can, and that allows their defense to look a lot better, than other teams. They played the pace, they played the defense, they played the style they want to play come October, and that was a lot of fun to watch. The shooting splits were heavily in favor of OKC. Utah shot 34% from the floor and from three. They only shot 55% from the free throw line. OKC shot 49% from the floor and 27% from three, 75% from the line. Of course, OKC's three-point percentage goes up if you take out Poku's three-point efforts. The MVP of this game is clearly Chet Holmgren. Up next, the Thunder take on a Memphis Grizzlies team that has a lot more talent on it than this Utah Jazz Summer League team did. So it'll be interesting to see them play and score off with them. Plus, I just want to give a PSA real quick. You saw it all over your timeline today. PSA annual reminder: do not overreact to Summer League. Do not kind of take Summer League for too. Folks, let me tell you something here. You just witnessed 2 straight years of tanking, and it all culminates in this Summer League roster that has every player you're excited about. Get excited. Look, we know it's July 5th. We know it's July 6th. We know it's Summer League. We know it doesn't matter. But for the morsel of time that you're watching this game, for the hour and a half, 2-hour block you're watching this game, have fun. Let loose. Enjoy it. Think about the future of the franchise. Think about what this could become. Think about how good Chet Holmgren can be. Cheer on the team. Scream at your television. Get up and dance. Do whatever you want to do. You don't have to be reserved. We're not going to look back and say, oh, you were happy about a Summer League win on July 5th. How dare you if one of these guys doesn't pan out? Have fun. It's been a year of hoping the team loses. It's been a year of not a ton of guys to watch and root for because they get shut down or they get hurt or whatever the case is. This is the time to shine. This is the time to have fun. This is the time to embrace it. And if you can't allow yourself to have fun, if you can't allow yourself to throw caution to the wind and go all in on Chet Holmgren for 2 weeks in July, then you take this hobby way too seriously. You might need to find a new one. Have fun. Look, I'm not saying that Chet Holmgren has to go to the Hall of Fame because of yesterday. I'm not saying that the game against Utah is going to put him in Springfield, Massachusetts. What I am saying is there should be a lot of fun happening right now. At the water cooler today, you should be talking to your buddy and saying, hey, man, do you watch Chet Holmgren? Do you see that guy? 6 blocks. How about that? You shouldn't be saying, well, it's only a Summer League exhibition. Duh. We know. We're all watching the same thing. You're not breaking news, right? Oh, I thought this was the regular season in July happening whenever there's Summer League plastered all over the floor. Have fun. Enjoy it. Life's too short to say, well, I'm going to reserve judgment and not get excited about Chet Holmgren until he's 5 years into the league and has an MVP. Get excited. Have fun. And let's not do gotcha stuff if these guys don't pan out. Let's just say, oh, what a fun time that was whenever Chet Holmgren was really good in the Summer League. Or whenever Kevin Knox tore up Summer League for the Knicks. What a fun time that was. Whenever he was first team all Summer League. That's all it is. We can only talk about the point of history that we're in right now. You don't have to worry about it being rewritten in 5 months. As of today, Chet Holmgren looked very good. As of today, we're very excited about Chet Holmgren and the Thunder, and Jaylen Williams and the Thunder, and Josh Giddey and the Thunder. Have fun. This is the Thunder team. It's not like you're getting excited about guys who aren't even on the roster. This is literally the Thunder roster that you just watched yesterday. Quite literally, the Thunder roster. Sands, Trey Mann, Baisley, Shea, Dort. Sands and some of those guys, Kenny Hustle. But the guys you watched are on the Thunder team. Be excited. Have some fun. Let loose. Enjoy it. They play again today. Let's see who plays. Let's see who starts. Let's see how they, capitalize on yesterday against the Memphis Grizzlies, who are a better team that should provide more competition. All of that recap will come out tomorrow as well on Locked On Thunder. So subscribe anywhere you get your podcast from. Until then, be good and be good to one another.